The biggest threat for crypto, at least in the short to midterm, would be some kind of a huge economic collapse. That would bring down stock markets. That would bring down everything, and it would obviously affect crypto. People would be contracting. My piece of advice I would encourage for you to understand is like if you're trying to find a shortcut to profits in crypto, you're probably going to learn a lesson, an expensive lesson, because quite frankly, and no offense, but unless you're a seasoned investor and you're like really unemotional, you're a mature, emotionally immature investor, being able to, number one, put a lot into a coin that you don't know much about, and then being able to not let your greed take over and actually take profits when it's appropriate. And then also, if you don't do that and it's crashing like crazy because it's an altcoin, and after a bull run, typically these go very, very much down.
What risks do you think we could see probably ahead? And the infrastructure bill is still also looming. I don't know how big of a weight that is also to the entire crypto space. But I want to say this also: the biggest drop that we had this year was pretty much because of the mining ban in China, which brought hash rates down. And my style right now is I'm just watching the hash rate of Bitcoin. It's flowing steadily, and how the hash rate has increasing. We're seeing also the price of Bitcoin relative to the US dollar proportionally going up as well. And what it did, what happened mid this year, all of the FUD in China somehow allowed Bitcoin to be more decentralized, in my opinion, that we're not as dependent on whatever news is happening in China already. But that being said, I'm not sure if that's the end of it for China. What do you see that could possibly be a risk that could bring markets lower over the next 6 months or a year or so?
The biggest threat for crypto, at least in the short to midterm, would be some kind of a huge economic collapse. That would bring down stock markets. That would bring down everything, and it would obviously affect crypto. People would be contracting into what, I don't know. Hopefully, into some food and water sources. But yeah, we saw a lot of FUD this year. We saw, like you said, the infrastructure bill. We saw Chinese mining, and also more recently, they were starting to ban actually transacting in crypto. And we saw centralized exchanges starting to remove their services from being able to have Chinese users. A lot of FUD, and we're still here. We're still nearing a new all-time high in Bitcoin. So I'm kind of skeptical that any one piece of news can totally affect the market outside of the trend it's already going to be in. I feel like markets are so cyclical and so controlled by the psychology of the people who are trading in it, that it's going to be in cycles. And I'm skeptical that a piece of news can reverse a major trend in the crypto markets. But what you're saying too about the Chinese mining and how the hash rate was affecting the price, absolutely, because the higher the hash rate, the more expensive it is to mine Bitcoin. That means the higher the floor price those miners have to sell the Bitcoin and enter it onto the market. So that's going to attribute to a higher price. And the fact that it's so beautiful that so many of these miners have moved out of China, and it's going to help all these other countries that are more welcoming to benefit from that, increased income in their economy. And it's definitely going to benefit Bitcoin and its network and its robustness. But yeah, for me, the biggest threat for crypto, and people are like, oh, can they ban cryptocurrencies? They can ban centralized exchanges. They can ban banks from allowing you to deposit your money to an account that is known to be with the centralized exchange. We're seeing that with Binance, and how their lack of clarity has resulted in a lot of different countries, kicking them out, basically. I don't know. I feel like crypto is just going to keep going because there's so much money into it. There's so many people that are earning profit from it, have been exposed to it, and will continue to search it out. There might be two different worlds of cryptocurrency, where there's the decentralized underbelly of cryptocurrency, where there's DeFi and decentralized exchanges and peer-to-peer transactions and anonymous coins. and the regulated side with, the ETFs and the centralized exchanges and declaring your crypto and all that beautiful things too. So it'll be really interesting. I just totally forgot about centralized CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. That will be very interesting to see if they shift into that system, how that would work with trading against other cryptocurrencies, if they would even allow it. Because the Chinese yuan, the digital yuan that they're testing out and declaring how it's going to be, they're saying that you can't list it on an exchange. You can't even create a synthetic version of it because it's like their property or whatever. So like you can't even have like an imitation Chinese digital yuan to represent that value as a stable coin. So that could be a way that are kind of forcing people out of cryptocurrencies. But I don't know, people have been exposed to it for so long, and people like you and me have benefited from it so much and are just going down all these different rabbit holes. There's always going to be a way to transact in crypto, whether or not it's going to be a mainstream media public way of doing it or not. But yeah, I think it's going to be fine. It's been around for this long already, so I think we're going to do just fine. And it's the more that this whole ecosystem is growing and it's becoming more decentralized out of necessity to be robust against these potentially smothering regulations. And I mean, the SEC, didn't they just come out and said like they can't regulate crypto even if they wanted to? So that was a huge thing. But the thing that they can do is regulate the centralized exchanges. And that just means giving them more of your information. They just want to know everything that you're doing with your crypto. And it's gonna be a pain in the butt, but I don't think it's gonna be completely taken out.
You mentioned something very interesting, and I want to ask this because number one, as what you mentioned, Binance is the largest exchange in the world, and even in our region of the world, they're the biggest. If it's Coinbase in North America, here Binance is so big. Given that there are looming fears, is what you've mentioned. What's your strategy into this? Do you keep still a proportion of your crypto into exchanges, or everything is in a wallet for you? How do you do it? And the reason why I said that was a couple of months back. I said hard wallet and cold wallet. That's where I'm gonna put everything. But what I realized, it's such a hassle to move it around from that, and then the fees that you have to pay, but plus the convenience of using it from an exchange, and then there's so many authentications just to take money out. It feels a bit safer in that regard. But I get your point that not your keys, not your coins. But so how do you do it? What's your strategy in properly allocating exchange or wallet, etc.?
I keep probably like, it's funny, like how most traditional financial advisors say put like 5% of your investments into crypto. Like I put like 5% of my crypto on a centralized exchange. Usually it's like either a coin that can't be stored on my hardware wallet, or it's one that I'm not planning on holding long-term anyway. And maybe it's an Ethereum based token and the transaction fees to withdraw it are very high compared to what I've actually bought on the coin. So yeah, there's definitely a growing concern of moving coins from an exchange to a wallet and then back to the exchange to sell it for whatever you want. Ledger, if you have a hardware wallet, Ledger is, I think, a really cool company, and they're, not to shill it too much, it's someone that I use, and they recently came out with an update that allows you to use a decentralized exchange for Ethereum and Ethereum based tokens right from your wallet. So you're not sending it from your wallet anywhere. It's right there in the interface. Also, you can trade on centralized exchanges, not centralized exchanges there, I'm sorry, with a fiat. You can do fiat transactions on it as well. So with a credit card or connecting your bank account, basically it's like they've brought the interface of that partnering platform onto their Ledger Live application. So but the convenience is that your hardware wallet is always connected and your coins are there. So you're kind of cutting out that transaction fee. Whether or not there's KYC involved is, depending on your location. But yeah, especially during a bull run, there's concerns both ways. There's concerns of keeping it on the exchange because it might get hacked, There's concerns of keeping it on the exchange because that particular exchange could go down during periods of high volatility when you do want to make a trade, and other ones might be open and you don't have the choice of moving them because you can't access your account. There's the risk of, trying to send your coins from your hardware wallet to an exchange, and then the transaction fees are so high, maybe the transaction fees are going to be the same amount as the profit that you would have made on that investment. And so it doesn't even make sense. These are all things you got to pay attention to and have a plan for. Test it out, do a trial run. At the very least, learn how to use the wallet, learn what to expect of the information they're going to be asking you. Because sometimes during the end of a bull run, things are going crazy and you got to act fast, and you don't want to make a mistake or be stressed out and lose money for whatever reason. So, like everything, it's like you can just hedge against every situation, keep what you think you're going to keep for a long period of time on your hardware wallet. And if you're going to be getting ready to take profits, maybe start sending them to the exchange. Just keep in mind that when you're sending coins, at least from your hardware wallet or from most wallets that you have the private keys and you're controlling, you're sending it from that location to the exchange. Most of the time you have the ability to change the amount that you pay for the transaction fee. Sometimes like you can do like a low fee and it's cheaper, and it's basically the same amount of time for it to get confirmed. So that could be a way to save money. But if you're sending coins from an exchange to your wallet, that exchange dictates how much you're paying. Usually it's a flat rate. For Binance, I think it's like $25 or something. So it can be pretty expensive. If you're going to be sending coins, maybe don't do so many small transactions because you're going to be paying fees every time, and just keep that in mind. So a lot of logistics, but it's all doable. everyone can do it successfully, I have faith.
Got it. So to put everything into a close, we've talked about Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and then we've talked about particular issues that could happen, how you would allocate your portfolio. Summing everything up, any final words for people right now as we end 2021, a year that has we're still in the midst of this pandemic, but anything that you would want to impart to them, any words of encouragement or any technique, strategies that you would want to end this video with?
Just if this is your first exposure to Bitcoin, your first time paying attention to it or investing in it, enjoy the profits. Take them when you see them. When or if Bitcoin corrects, it is not dead. It will continue to exist. And it's when no one is talking about it that is the best time to buy it. And you will benefit 10 times, 100 times more during the next bull run, because markets do move in cycles. And that's when you buy low and sell high. So welcome. It's a crazy ride, and I think you're going to like it.
Got it. You have a Patreon group, you have a YouTube channel, you have social media accounts. How can people get in touch with you, reach you, and communicate with you as well?
So we have a Patreon group. You can go to patreon.com/cryptotips, and we offer classes, access to our portfolio, why we're investing in those coins. We offer trade alerts to say what we're doing, when we're doing it, and why. And also what else is there? There's a huge community now of people. So that's the most, I think, valuable thing that anyone can have in this space is, like we were saying before, there's so much information, so many new things being innovative. No one person knows everything that's happening. So to have a community of people who are paying attention and bouncing ideas off of each other is really, really valuable. So we have that for you as well with the Discord, and on YouTube. We do tutorials, we do AMA sessions. So we're addressing a lot of these beginner type questions, and you can find us there. Crypto Tips is the name. And yeah, on Instagram, it's real Crypto Tips. There's a few. On Twitter, it's Blockchain Chick.
Blockchain Chick. No, that's nice. So I'll put all of the links in the description so you can follow and support them. And if you actually would like to know more about what they do in and out of crypto as well. So thank you so much, Heidi. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to you and to be able to converse and at least exchange ideas on your take on what's happening in the cryptocurrency market. So to everyone watching this, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section below. We'll try to see how it could be answered and addressed as well. And I hope that this is something that gave value to you. At the end of the day, whatever is discussed here, it's your money, it's your responsibility. Please take the time to research and do your own due diligence, because at the end of the day, Heidi's success was brought about by the numerous hours she has spent also in learning and investing. And at the end of it all, please do note that after researching, take the time also to deploy capital. The only way that you get to learn in this is by trying it out. Start it with a very, very small amount, an amount that you might even spend on something that you don't need. Start it with that and gain the confidence and start scale it up as you go along and gain the experience and the skill for it. So I guess that's it for now. To everyone watching this, I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.